Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 in Nrsv. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all their multitude. Nrv. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. KJV. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. The Message Bible. Heaven and earth were finished down to the last detail. Nrsv. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. Verse 2 in Nrsv. And on the seventh day God finished the work that he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all the work that he had done. By the seventh day God had finished the work that he had been doing, so on the seventh day he rested from all his work. KJV. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. The Message Bible. By the seventh day God had finished his work. On the seventh day he rested from all his work. Nrsv. And on the seventh day God finished his work that he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work that he had done. Verse 3 in Nrsv. So God blessed the seventh day and hallowed it, because on it God rested from all the work that he had done in creation. NIV. God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. KJV. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. The Message Bible. God blessed the seventh day. He made it a holy day, because on that day he rested from his work, all the creating God had done. Nrsv. So God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it God rested from all his work that he had done in creation. Verse 4 in Nrsv. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. NIV. This is the account of the heavens and the earth when they were created, when the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. KJV. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. The Message. This is the story of how it all started, of heaven and earth when they were created. Nrsv. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. Verse 5 Nrsv. When no plant of the field was yet in the earth, and no herb of the field had yet sprung up, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain up on the earth, and there was no one to till the ground. NIV. Now no shrub had yet appeared on the earth, and no plant had yet sprung up, for the Lord God had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no one to work the ground. KJV. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. The Message. At the time God made earth and heaven, before any grass or shrubs had sprouted from the ground, God hadn't yet sent rain on earth, nor was there anyone around to work the ground. Nrsv. And no bush of the field was yet in the land, and no small plant of the field had yet sprung up. The Lord God had not caused it to rain on the land, and there was no man to work the ground. Verse 6 in Nrsv. But a stream would rise from the earth and water the whole face of the ground. NIV. But streams came up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground. KJV. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. The message: the whole earth was watered by underground springs. ESV: and a mist was going up from the land and was watering the whole face of the ground. Verse 7. Nrsv: then the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. NIV: then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. KJV: and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. The message: God formed man out of dirt from the ground and blew into his nostrils the breath of life. The man came alive, the living soul. ESV: and the Lord God formed the man of dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living creature. Verse 8 in Nrsv: and the Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. NIV: now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east, in Eden, and there he put the man he had formed. KJV: and the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. The message: then God planted a garden in Eden in the east. He put the man he had just made in it. ESV: and the Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. Verse 9 in Nrsv: out of the ground the Lord God made to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. NIV: the Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. KJV: and out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life, and also in the midst of garden, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The message: God made all kinds of trees grow from the ground, trees beautiful to look at and good to eat. The tree of life was in the middle of the garden, also the tree of knowledge of good and evil. ESV: and out of the ground the Lord God made to spring up every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life was in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Verse 10 in Nrsv: a river flows out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it divides and becomes 4 branches. NIV: a river watering the garden flowed from Eden. From there it was separated into 4 headwaters. KJV: and a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. The message: a river flows out of Eden to water the garden, and from there divides into 4 rivers. ESV: a river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and there it divided and became 4 rivers. Verse 11 Nrsv: the name of the first is Pishon. It is the one that flows around the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. NIV: the name of the first is the Pishon. It winds through the entire land of Havilah, where there is gold. KJV: the name of the first is Pison. That is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. The message: the first is named Pishon. It flows through Havilah, where there is gold. ESV: the name of the first is Pishon. It is the one that flowed around the whole land of Havilah where there is gold. Verse 12. Nrsv. And the gold of that land is good. Bdellium and onyx stone are there. NIV. The gold of that land is good. Aromatic resin and onyx are also there. KJV. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. Message. The gold of this land is good. The land is also known for a sweet scented resin and onyx stone. ESV. And the gold of that land is good. Bdellium and onyx stone are there. Verse 13. In Nrsv. The name of the second river is Gihon. It is the one that flows around the whole land of Cush. NIV. The name of the second river is the Gihon. It winds through the entire land of Cush. KJV. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. The Message. The second river is named Gihon. It flows through the land of Cush. ESV. The name of the second river is the Gihon. It is the one that flowed around the whole land of Cush. Verse 14. Nrsv. The name of the third river is Tigris, which flows east of Assyria, and the fourth river is the Euphrates. NIV. The name of the third river is the Tigris. It runs along the east side of the Ashur, and the fourth river is the Euphrates. KJV. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. It is it which goeth toward the east of Assyria, and the fourth river is Euphrates. The Message. The third river is named Hiddekel and flows east of Assyria. The fourth river is the Euphrates. ESV. And the name of the third river is the Tigris, which flows east of Assyria. The fourth river is the Euphrates. Verse 15. Nrsv. The Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to till it and keep it. NIV. The Lord God took the man, put him in the garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. KJV. And the Lord God took the man, put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. The Message Bible. God took the man and set him down in the garden of Eden to work the ground and keep it in order. ESV. The Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to work it and keep it. Verse 16. Nrsv. And the Lord God commanded the man, You may freely eat of every tree of the garden. NIV. And the Lord God commanded the man, You are free to eat from any tree in the garden. KJV. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat. The Message. God commanded the man, You can eat from any tree in the garden. ESV. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, You may surely eat of every tree of the garden. Verse 17. Nrsv. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall die. NIV. But you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it you will certainly die. KJV. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. The Message. Except from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, don't eat from it. The moment you eat from the tree, you are dead. ESV. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it, we shall surely die. Verse 18 in Nrsv. Then the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helper as his partner. In Nrv. The Lord God said, it is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. KJV. And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helper meet for him. The Message. God said, it's not good for the man to be alone. I'll make him a helper, a companion. Nrsv. Then the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him. Verse 19 in Nrsv. So out of the ground the Lord God formed every animal of the field and every bird of the air, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. In Nrv. Now the Lord God had formed out of the ground all the wild animals and all the birds in the sky. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them. And whatever the man called each living creature, that it was its name. KJV. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. The Message is, God formed from the dirt of the ground all the animals of the field and all the birds of the air. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them. Whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. Nrsv. Now out of the ground the Lord God had formed every beast of the field and every bird of the heavens, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called every living creature, that was its name. Verse 20 in Nrsv. The man gave names to all cattle, and to the birds of the air, and to every animal of the field. But for the man there was not found a helper as his partner. In Nrv. So the man gave names to all the livestock, the birds in the sky, and all the wild animals. But for Adam no suitable helper was found. KJV. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an help meet for him. The Message. The man named the cattle, named the birds of the air, named the wild animals, but he did not find a suitable companion. Nrsv. The man gave names to all the livestock, and to the birds of the heavens, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helper fit for him. Verse 21 in Nrsv. So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and he slept. Then he took one of his ribs and closed up its place with flesh. In Nrv. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and then closed up the place with flesh. KJV. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. The Message. God put the man into a deep sleep. As he slept, he removed one of his ribs and replaced it with flesh. Nrsv. So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and while he slept, took one of his ribs and closed up its place with flesh. Verse 22 in Nrsv. And the rib that the Lord God had taken from the man he made into a woman, and brought her to the man. In Nrv. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. KJV. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. The Message. God then used the rib that he had taken from the man to make a woman, and presented her to the man. Nrsv. And the rib that the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman and brought her to the man. Verse 23 in Nrsv. Then the man said, "This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one shall be called woman, for out of man this one was taken." NIV. The man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man." KJV. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." The Message. The man said, "Finally, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Name her woman, for she was made from man." ESV. Then the man said, "This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." Verse 24 in Nrsv. Therefore a man leaves his father and his mother and clings to his wife, and they become one flesh. NIV. That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. KJV. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. The Message. Therefore a man leaves his father and mother, and embraces his wife, they become one flesh. ESV. Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Verse 25 NRSV. And the man and his wife were both naked, and were not ashamed. NIV. Adam and his wife were both naked, and they felt no shame. KJV. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. The Message. The two of them, the man and his wife, were naked, but they felt no shame. ESV. And the man and his wife were both naked, and were not ashamed.